let's get on with the next act. Like I say, this is a very diverse part of the show. And so we are going to start with a white heterosexual male. Mr. Charlie Barnes.
Hey, it's really heterosexual.
Hello.
You know, it was Valentine's Day last week, and they say that what really counts in a relationship is personality. Personality is what matters and makes a relationship last. Well, my girlfriend's schizophrenic, so I'm spoiled for choice. I've got to ask a question. Has anyone lost a load of £20 notes tied up with a rubber band? If you have, tough tits, I've got to get home. Last week I turned 30, and I'm at that period in my life where I get very reflective and kind of contemplative and start to wonder what I'm doing with my life at this point. And I personally find it a rather sobering thought to know that when James Dean was my age, he'd been dead for 6 years. It's great to be here in sunny Devon. Teignmouth's a lovely place, isn't it? It's quite weird, isn't it? On my way here, a man on a bicycle tried to sell me drugs. He was peddling. Do you know they found evidence that in biblical times Jesus and his disciples made up a football team? And Jesus was so humble he was always in goal. Yeah, haven't you heard the phrase? Jesus saves. I had an argument with a friend. It turned out he was a cannibal. I told him to go eat a dick. Listen, if a cannibal performs cunnilingus, is it technically eating pussy? You know, they say it is the job of every comedian to know where to draw the line. I do, it's in the lavatory. I had a friend of mine who had the same birthday as me, and we celebrated by going to his place and getting stoned. It was a joint birthday. Has anyone ever done that thing where you laugh while you're drinking milk and then it shoots out your nose? Free advice, never ever tell a joke while receiving oral sex. Speaking of which, here's a joke. What do you call a deer with no eyes?
No idea.
Blind.
Hey.
What do you call a fish with no eyes? Also blind. Stop naming animals, you cunt. You know, there is a phrase, behind every successful man there is a woman. This is especially true if you've ever been to an S&M club. This year marks the 100th anniversary of the end of the First World War. I went to see a play about the First World War, and I don't know, it wasn't as good as the sum of its parts. Too soon. I was in a pub in Bristol. I was most amused to find out that George Best has a lager named after him. And I thought, am I the only one who finds that just a little bit insensitive, considering, oh, I don't know, the man died of chronic alcoholism? I eagerly await the opening of Buddy Holly Airways. Or how about a pack of smokes with Humphrey Bogart's face on them? Or these Marilyn Monroe endorsed sleeping tablets? Too soon? Also in the news, the Spice Girls are reforming. Right about in 1997, good God, almost 20 years ago, they made a film called Spice World, and it's a little known fact. One of the many celebrities they got to cameo in the picture was Gary Glitter, and then his little trip to PC World made the news and he was hastily removed from the film. Now, where am I going with this? Well, when the only person in your film to get out of it with their dignity intact is Gary Glitter. Not a good sign. Glad that film studies degree didn't go to waste. One of my favourite movies is Die Hard. It came out the year I was born. I love Die Hard. But I gotta say, do you know what the most unbelievable thing about that film is? Most of the bad guys in that film are white, and yet the media still calls them terrorists. Now, I'd like to confess something. I have Asperger's syndrome. Now, half of you are thinking, no shit. Some people have said to me, I'll bet you have Asperger's, don't you? Wow, are you trying to go on what's my disability? Like, if you see a fellow in a wheelchair, go, oh, don't tell me, cystic fibrosis, am I close? Basically, if you don't know what that means, well, it means I see things differently than most people. That could also be because I have really shitty eyesight. There was a period when I saw the whole world in black and white. Coincidentally, that's when I stopped wearing contact lenses. It takes my mind to weird places, like I wonder, if you set a bag of vomit on fire, is it technically a sick burn? It's led me to some awkward places, like I tried to buy a pair of crocodile shoes. They gave me Crocs. And you know, everybody has a bucket list, well they will until KFC reopens. I stopped because we didn't do that. Mine includes things like going into anywhere called the Milk Bar dressed as Alex from A Clockwork Orange. And, how's your milk plus, oh my brother? Yeah, that's a glimpse into the mindset of your friend and humble comedian. Or getting one of those bumper stickers that says naughty boy on board and sticking them on those big vans the police use to transport sex offenders. Yes. And one thing, you can say the wrong thing with Asperger's, because you know, I'm not on the dating scene, I'm currently single, because there's just so many bleeding rules for it. There are all these lists, like things not to say to women, or don't say this to women, don't say this to people of colour, don't say this to trans people, blah blah blah. Well, I'm an introvert, so I just ignore them anyway. How about giving us a list of what we can say, Or how about a more useful list, like things not to say to a drugged up, naked man who wants to shove a plant pot up your rectum. Now, you may laugh, but that has helped me out on more than one occasion. And how's that? If this isn't an indictment of today's modern, embittered, cynical times, you can't even say you're a nice guy anymore. And I thought I had this whole nice Jewish boy thing going for me. Yeah, autistic and Jewish, that's a winning combination. So yeah, you can't even say you're a nice guy anymore, because now that's even a bad sign. And what's it going to be like in 10 years? Oh, he's a good person, all-round decent human being? Ugh. Well, if you're interested, I'm not a nice guy, I'm not mentally stable, I do have a criminal record, I'm basically just an all-round horrible cunt. You know, the depressing thing is that might actually work. People often the one question I get asked with Asperger's, I bet you're like those lads off The Big Bang Theory. To which I have to quote Malcolm McDowell in the film Gangster #1. But, what you take me for? A cunt? Now here's something amusing. When people say, when they're in the middle of saying something, they say needless to say, and then they continue with speaking. Well, if it's needless to say, then why are you saying it? What do I think about this? Well, needless to say. Yeah. Going back to Valentine's Day, there are often things couples use to describe their status, like they're seeing each other, which is pretty arbitrary, isn't it? So, I imagine as part of being in a relationship with somebody is that you get in each other's eye line occasionally. Like, well, we're going out. Like, well, unless you're both agoraphobic, that's really not much to brag about. So, well, something as arbitrary as, me and my partner exist together. We consume oxygen together. And sometimes it's got to be awkward. Hey, Stevie Wonder, how's that girl you... And I was always seeing one of those sentimental things about it. This really pissed me off. I go, man, if she calls you an idiot, you're lucky. I say, just a lot of people have called me an idiot, like when I went to school and stuff, and I didn't want to shack up with any of those people. Let me tell you this, so if a man calls a woman an idiot, oh, he's sexist, condescending, chauvinistic, etc. Woman calls a man an idiot, life partners. Can you say double standards? I'm sure anybody who's had self-esteem or confidence issues or even had an abusive partner will love that. Speaking of KFC, you know, so when you order stuff at McDonald's, they always say, we wait for your meal, it says, coming straight from the kitchen. Well, where the fuck else is it going to come from? If it said, coming straight from the supply cupboard, I would be a tad concerned. So, I want to finish with some great words of wisdom I was given. That people who live in glass houses should change estate agents. Thank you, you've been marvellous.